While we are gathering, maybe I should just say that this series of webinar InterVenture is organizing is now became a tradition. After COVID era, we continued to organize different tech talks, management talks, inviting professionals to share their knowledge and experience with our community. So this time we will have the opportunity to hear a bit more about technical SEO. And maybe before the official start, I would like to introduce myself. I am Boena and I'm community manager here at InterVenture. And welcome to our new Tech Talk. For you who are the first time with us, I'll just mention shortly what we are all about. And if you haven't heard before, InterVenture is a company that assembles first-class engineering teams who build amazing software solutions for a decade now. And we cover various industries such as media, telco, insurance, fintech, mobile, payments, e-commerce, logistics, etc. So we enable our partners to build remote software development teams by hiring not just in Serbia, but worldwide, while giving our engineers opportunity to work with amazing international companies tackling global challenges. And if you want to know more about our partners, projects, I'll share a link in a chat a bit later to learn more about us. Actually, maybe I can do it even now. Okay. And now let me get back to the topic of the webinar. Our ex-colleague, Aleksandar Arnautovic, started working in web development 12 years ago. Last 5 years, he has been working as an engineering manager, SEO manager and project manager at Homegate company. And as he said, and I'll quote him, he had a pleasure to work at InterVenture for 4 wonderful years. And on his professional path, Aleksandar gathered a lot of experience and insightful information. So we invited him to share with you and with all of us those tips and tricks, do's and don'ts, and how you can make a big impact when it comes to organic reach by making some small interventions with technical SEO. And please feel free to ask your questions in a Q&A session, and we will answer it after the talk. And now, Aleksandar, I'll give you the mic, and I'll just say the stage is yours.
Yeah, thanks, Boena, for wonderful introduction. As Boena said, my name is Aleksandar Arnautovic. I'm engineer manager at Homegate. And yeah, hopefully I will share something interesting with you today. Let me share the screen. So let me first start with one question. Can we change the way that people search for information? No, we can't. They will use Google, and we are the ones that need to adapt to it. So let us start where we started 4 or 5 years ago. Our story. We were building and managing the several platforms, Ali and Technical.ch, that were satellite platforms for Homegate website, mostly designed to draw additional traffic and to rank to lower keywords, lower position for each keyword on Google, and suppress a little bit of competition. So I got the chance to lead one of the teams managing these 2 platforms. In the beginning, I got 2 developers, and as you may notice, like 2 developers, 2 websites, not really too much room to do anything. It's mostly for enough to maintain those websites, best case scenario. Then we got news, okay, it's not 2 websites, it's 3. So InmoStreet also, which was a little bit bigger platform at the time than 2 small satellites. They also had online payment systems and everything. So now it becomes a headache because with 2 people and 3 websites, it's really hard to manage. So what we did? We decided, okay, let's do the things that can make a big impact with really little effort is possible. So because with managing all the maintenance stuff, there was not too much room to spare on the development. So what we did to overcome all resources. So first, we created a really good plan what to do in the first 3 months. So we need to be really efficient, then only do things that get most of the value. Everything else we needed to ignore. So also we need to be agile, and we needed to stop overthinking and prioritizing everything, meetings to the minimum, and we needed just to do it. So first thing, to understand the rest of the story, if you're not too into SEO, you need to understand how search engines work. So what they do. First, they crawl. They crawl the web, they crawl the websites, they follow the link. They indexed all the data that they found, and then they ranked them, the websites, based on the content. And yeah, that's basically it. It becomes a little bit more complicated, as I will show you here. You don't need to be scared of it's basically a pyramid of SEO pyramid. I snatched this from Moz.com, which I always recommend for everybody that is interested in learning more about the SEO. So if you're attend any SEO conference or anything related, you probably see this like multiple times, and everybody in SEO world are like, I'm sick of this, it's the pyramid again. But at the end, it's the best representation of how the Google crawls and ranks the website. So it starts from the foundation. Foundation is crawlability. So the first step is that Google crawls through your website following the links. Then it combines all the compelling content. Then next most important step is how that content is optimized, keyword optimization, and also important stuff, user experience, how fast the page speed is, how fast the pages are loading, ease of use, also accessibility for people with disabilities, how they can access the content. Also, there are things like being able to share the content. Then at the end, there is the small things like title, URL, descriptions, and snippets, markups, and so on. So probably first question is how to get data, what I need to do to my website, how to get all these things. I would recommend combining this pyramid with tools. Moz.com is the great place to start. Sadly, it's only premium, but first 30 days are free, and you can make most of it. Also, free alternative is SEMrush. That can also be really good starting point to get all the data necessary you need. Now, when you run your website through these tools, you can get all the things that you need to do in your website. I actually put it here next to the pyramid. It's not really symmetrical, but you get the idea for each place, the most important. So that was the first thing we did. We took analysis of the website and see, yeah, okay, best things to do to improve in a short time is to improve its traffic. With improved traffic, we will improve revenue and so on. And as we didn't have enough budget to just buy AdWords traffic in that short time, that would be probably the fastest way, next fastest way, okay, let's rank it. So we pull out from the tools everything that we need to do. Of course, this is really huge amount of work, and to fix all of this, it's not enough. 2 guys, 3 portals in 3 months. This is more like a team of 5 guys, 1 year. So then we decided, okay, let's focus on the most important things. What will we gain the most? So we prioritized a little bit and see, okay, first we do the green ones. This is the most important ones, and by one, and we do it parallel on all the websites at a time, so we don't lose time testing it on each other. We just do it quickly. Sitemap was a little bit, let's say, harder one to tackle in this part, because it's all the satellites were built using the PHP as a backend. The main foundation of the website was WordPress, but nothing was really built in WordPress. It was just starting point. Everything was done on pure PHP, which was a little bit of the issue, because we could not just install sitemap plugin and generate everything. All the pages were generated via PHP itself, and that means a little bit harder to generate the whole sitemap. So what we did, we just used the external tool to crawl our website once internal linking is done and generate temporarily sitemaps. So we had sitemaps for first 3 months, which we used. Then at the next point, we tackled it and created proper sitemap generator that updates it with every changes and so on. But this time the speed was of the essence. So what we did first we figure out which pages we want to rank at all. As it was all real estate websites, we had homepage, we had search pages, and we have detail pages where you can see individual real estates. And as it stands, all of the people working previously on these projects, they were mostly focused on optimizing the detail pages, because you can see the traces. Somebody was optimizing it before, somebody worked on it hard, but search pages were mostly neglected. And that was the biggest issue and the biggest room for us to improve, because if you are searching apartments to buy in Belgrade, you will type apartments to buy in Belgrade. You will not search particular street, or maybe you will, but that's a quite small amount of people searching exact term to find one. The majority, if you check the current searches, what people are searching are basically search pages. So then we decided, okay, that's the pages we need to optimize. Then other thing is make all pages visible to Google crawler. Seems pretty straightforward and like, yeah, of course, every website needs this. And then you realized in the era of single page application, not so often. First thing we realized, one of the 3 portals was completely blocked to crawlers. Not everything except homepage was blocked. Why? Then I checked the Confluence, asked some colleagues that were previously working on project, and they were like, yeah, we had a bot problem. We just blocked everything, including Google crawler. Okay, so that was the easy fix. For the rest of the websites, as I said, single page application, Google not really friends with one another. So how Google Crawler works, as I said, he goes through the links and follows that trail. If there is no links on the homepage, Google Crawler doesn't go anywhere. That's the end for him. If it has several links, he follows them, and if that is the end, he doesn't go anywhere. And with portals that have hundreds of thousands of pages, when you go, we needed to make them visible to Google Crawler. So we did just that. We made it visible. We created several pages that are linking. We added internal linking to each of the search page. So basically crawler mostly to the end of the page. So it doesn't really affect user experience. All the experience, all the journey stay the same for the user. So we didn't really affect that. We only created on the end of each page small section of internal links just for Google Crawler. Probably we tracked there are some users clicking actually on those links, but usually when they don't find anything on the page at the end, maybe this. And last but not least, all the existing links, in most cases, we're just following like real estate or something, just read more keywords. We needed to change that because the crawler uses the keywords inside of the links text to realize, okay, if the link text says, okay, this is a real estate in Zurich or real estate in Belgrade, okay, that link points me to the page where are the real estate in Belgrade. So that was the second thing that we could do in short time to improve that. At the end, in first 3 months, we just doing the first green part of the previous slide. It ended up to increase from 50 to 70% even on the one that was blocked, of course, for each portals, on all 3 portals. And in the next 6 months, we were going 100% pure organic traffic, 0 paid traffic, in a larger overall traffic scale. Because that was the second thing that I realized when I took over the platform. We have the satellites that basically point is to generate free traffic to the main portal, but we paid traffic to that portal, and then that portal sends the traffic to another portal. That didn't really make sense. So next thing was, okay, clear all the paid traffic. Let's focus to be mostly organic traffic and increase. So after some success and actually after not intentionally over-ranking the main website Vitali Immobilien, we got the chance to work on the main website on Homegate.ch. So we started working on it on 2019. And we did the same principle, exactly the same. We did the same things that we did in the satellite pages. We started doing it, building even bigger issues were there. We didn't have a sitemap at all on the portal this size. We could not crawl for most of it because Homegate went through a big redesign and technology change where they moved from old Java backend to the new AWS and Vue.js as a frontend. And now with the new stack, everything was rewritten, which was good, technology-wise, pretty good, but SEO-wise, not perfect. So we need to fix the stuff. The first step, just make it crawlable. So first step, what we did, we just created starting HTML blank page, just linking to all the categories. Because from 50 categories and subcategories, Google Crawler can only access 5 because it was all in JavaScript. So we did that, and we continue to work on only the important stuff. At this time, we were no longer 2 developers and me, it was already 4. So that gave us a little bit leverage because we were maintaining the free satellite portals. We also gained 1/4 satellite, smaller one, and we already are working on the big thing. So long story short, only these small changes that we did make website crawlable, being able to allow the crawler to go through all the website, optimize a little bit of the links, and include the sitemap, increase the search organic traffic by 87% year over year in the 3 months, sorry. So this is compared for 2019 to 2020. So then we continue to work on the Homegate platform. And yeah, this is the value from this month compared to the last year this month. We managed to improve the overall organic traffic by 85% more. And continue to decrease the paid traffic along the way. Every time we get increase in organic, we reduce paid a little bit more. So we adjust the costs and improve the, not being so, let's say, addicted to paid traffic, as everybody that is, all the websites that are used to and run by paid traffic can always have this issue of running out. Either there is a problem or you run out of the money and then you don't have traffic. I actually had a funny point in 5 years ago when the Ali Mobilien got penalized by Google because we got hacked and put the Bitcoin miner in the website. It was in the next 30 minutes that we realized, fixed the issue and cleaned. But exact that moment, Google crawler found it and it blocked us for having ads to our website for the next 3 months. So we were running then completely without paid traffic. And that hurt us. After that point, we decided, okay, we need to leverage our sources of traffic. And it cannot all be organic, of course, but we need to readjust. For one, organic is free traffic, not really free. You still need to invest some time and money into it in development. But compared to the paid, especially in the markets like Swiss market, where one click is several euros or francs, it's really makes sense. So yeah, as I said, we are still working and improving Homegate. That SEO is quite of the ongoing project. You always need to improve a little bit, little by little. And also good thing about having the small satellite pages, you can always test some SEO stuff that you're not quite sure of on them. And then if that works, you can always do it on the main site. And of course, we are not stopping there. We now are starting to also do the SEO stuff for ImmoScout 24CH. That's the new project that we just got because of the merger. So that will be quite a good project. So first thing, we need to rewrite the website from the old .NET stack to the new Vue.js and AWS. Unfortunately, good thing about ImmoScout old version that it did have React, but unfortunately now it will be moved to Vue.js. I say unfortunately, React is a little bit more SEO friendly, but with Vue you can always achieve the same thing, but with a little bit more efforts, especially page speed wise. So, yeah, first thing, what are the cons of doing all of this? As we did only spend 3 months doing it in the first, it's not really fast in showing the results. Most of the things that you do SEO-wise take up to 3 months to see the results. Looking at like this, it's like, yeah, 3 months is not that big of a deal, but in the environment, especially big companies, everything is planned by a quarter or less. So it's quite hard to get results at the end of the quarter with the efforts you put in. So you need to plan a little bit in advance. So that means not only 1 quarter, but at least quarter behind. Especially if you have the KPIs, okay, I need to increase organic traffic in the first quarter. That's not possible if you start in January. You need to start in October to see the results in the first quarter. So it a little bit complicates it from the project manager side. And yeah, that's the biggest con. From the pros section, free traffic is always a good thing. I never say no to any free traffic to the website. Leveraging the risk. As I mentioned before, it's not always good to have only 1 source of traffic to our website. Ideally, you would be split in 3 or 4 types. You're getting referrals from some website, you will get organic, a little bit of paid traffic is always okay. Usually the amount of paid traffic is from 5 to 10% of the website, except in the Swiss market, they are doing it quite differently there. There I saw even 50% in some cases, which is crazy. And best pro of all is competitiveness. So every keyword, every position on Google that you climb by 1 step, you are pushing your component, your competition by 1 downstairs. So every win for you is additional loss for your competitors. And one thing that you should really pick up from all of this is stop thinking like a human when designing a website, just for 1 moment, and think a little bit as a Google crawler, because then you will find a lot of issues with the website, especially now that 90% of the websites or applications are built in React, in Vue.js, at a single page application, especially with Angular. Most of Angular websites that I saw, luckily they are not so often as React. Most of them are not crawlable more than the home page. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions? If there are, yeah, you can use Google. Just joking.
Aleksandar, thank you for sharing your experience with us. Yes, everyone, please, if you have some questions, now is the great opportunity to ask Aleksandar whatever you wanted to hear more about. So use the Q&A option or chat, and we will read the questions. Okay, we got 1 question. Did you set any SEO goals other than increasing the organic traffic?
Yes, we had several. Once, one of them was increasing the visibility of the several regions. As before, ImmoScout was our biggest competitor, and they were really strong in some regions of Switzerland. So one of the biggest goals are to improve more in that regions. So we were focusing on really hard to overtake them in that, not just grow overall traffic to the website.
Okay. Do we have some other questions? Someone, anyone? How often should you analyze your website performance versus competition?
Okay. Yeah. Probably I would ask. Do you mean by website performance in terms of organic traffic and SEO visibility, or do you mean like really website how fast the website performance is? Because both of them are important, and yeah, you should do it probably for the large sites, this competitor bi-weekly. For the website performance itself, I would advise implementing something that's ongoing. For example, you can add a script and connect it to Slack that measures your page speed at least once a day, or even better, every deployment you make. So you know if you really fucked something up, or is it improving. From the visibility standpoint, yeah, it's good to have it at least once a month for smaller websites, and track where you're improving, what you need to do. So yeah, in both cases, whatever the question was related to, yeah, it's important to have it as often as possible. Also, once every 3 months, let's say, you can. It's good to have like overall picture where you want to be with the website in the next year, because often that's also neglected. Because do you want it to rank #1 in one city, or you want it to be #1? Yeah, for all keywords in the country, that's always hard to achieve, but yeah, depends on the goals.
We had one more question. It says, if you have products, what would be your advice for using Google Crawler?
Okay. I'm not sure what do you mean by products.
As a sole trade, would you advise using Moz for the 30 days to gain all info and then cancel? Is it quite costly as the same person?
Yeah, you should for sure try it for at least 30 days and see, does it make sense for you? Is somebody who often builds the website, you are in the SEO world, I would advise paying it. It's worth that money. For somebody that you just want to optimize your website, you can generate it for 30 days, all the reports and then just spend some time fixing those. You don't need to analyze it every 7 days. If you know what you need to fix, you just need to create the bullet points. And once you fix the bullet points, you can maybe have another 30 days and then just see, is there anything that new popped up or not? That's usually the way I work with it. Also, SEMrush is quite good. It has everything. It's not that user-friendly for beginners as the Moz. Moz has much better user interfaces than SEMrush, especially for the new joiners. But yeah, it does the job. And from the product, I assume the first question was related to the second one relating Moz.com. Yeah, Moz is quite good. There are also some other alternatives that you can reuse, but yeah, these ones showed best for me.
One more question arrived saying, how did you create a user-centric and crawler-friendly internal linking concept? For example, what insights did you take into account?
First thing that we did, we were trying not to ruin the user experience and the current user journey that user has, because we have a team of product designers that work really hard to achieve certain quality of that user journey and to achieve as many leads as possible. So that was the first thing. Yeah, we cannot ruin this. So we basically created the links in the way that doesn't hurt that. So most of the links were created after the listings, but we needed to make sure that they are crawlable, because Google crawler will only crawl first 100 links on each page. So if you have a lot of links on one page and that number exceeds 100, everything below that will be ignored by the crawler. At least from the linking perspective, the content will be read and so on, but the links will not be followed anymore. So that means that we needed to make sure that we place the internal links in the such height that is still crawlable and accessible by the crawler. So we usually started with one page showing the empty categories without the location. So when the accessible view homepage, then when we created, when the crawler accessed those links, then it would have the combination of links from that category it accessed and all the regions location-wise. So we get in that two steps linking combination of all the categories times all the regions. So if, for example, if you started with apartments, garages, and then in the next step you choose Ticino, you will end up on the page garages for sale in Ticino. And similar to every category or subcategory. And then once you are on the region, you can choose the canton. After you choose canton, on the next page, you will get the links to the city, and then even the parts of the city for some cities, like Zurich has its own parts of the city that are also crawlable. So basically in that combination with few easier levels, we managed to combine 200, I think, 1,000 different pages just by multiplying this combination, and then cover all the pages that are important for ranking. Then next step would be, okay, what are the most important pages? What we for us, where the most traffic comes from? It's always apartments in Zurich, for example. Then we did an additional step of creating a small widget on the homepage of every website. So first, we usually have the search bar where you can search, which was usual user experience. But below that, we created group links, no more than 20, for the most important cities or cantons and combination of categories. So usually big cities and apartments, or big cities and houses, the most traffic volume and most potential one. So that was the additional link improvements from the homepage. Then we also did, that was not so small thing that we did. We also created, we call them entry pages. That was the next step of internal crawling. In the old technology stack, we have really good interactive maps where the user can went to map of Switzerland and click regions, click cities, and then at the end point to the smallest geographic location he wants. In the new rewrite, we didn't have time to create the new map. So what we did exactly the same thing, only by linking to each section. So when you go there and choose region and city and category, you will get the links to all the search pages where you can search that. Funnily enough, this was the only page where the user journey was changed a little bit, but still user did not drop, user engagement did not drop. users still liked it, still clicked it. So also very important is to have some product designer with you to make sure that you are not killing their efforts at the end. Or if you are in product management, you already know what the efforts are, what's important for the user journey, so you don't kill them. Okay. So I see the next one. What are the learnings along the way? Maybe some things you have not expected
or you would do differently.
Yeah, every time I think the same answer. Less meetings. always a big issue. Every time we slow down, it's always because we talk and prioritize and assess everything like 5 times. That was the biggest issue. And usually I before worked in German companies and projects where everything was quite strict. You get everything you need to do, everything was efficient. The biggest issue for me when working with Swiss companies is that everything needs to be prioritized, discussed. If there is an issue, we postpone everything until that issue is resolved. So not really productive. And I understand why we need to understand everything, but usually I'm always fighting for, okay, let's just do the thing and then fix if something is, we need to adjust something. If it's something really big of an issue, yeah, we should then definitely do it. And other thing that maybe I would do differently is start working on bigger projects much sooner than trying some things on the smaller ones and then waiting and applying it to the bigger ones.
Okay, thank you. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
The first thing when you said less meetings, it sounded like this meme. This should be an email, but you didn't read it, so it's another call and another meeting.
Exactly, exactly.
So we have one more question. Do you have any tips about learning how to think more like a Google crawler? Do you have some creative approach here?
Yes, I think the easiest thing to do is check every link that you have or everything that you click on your own website and inspect that link and see, is it clickable in the HTML or does the JavaScript does the work? That's the first thing. But to see how the crawler works, you can actually check in the Google Web Master tools. You can check individual pages, how it is crawlable, and you can see what the Google crawlers see. Basically, answer is HTML. So you can open any of your pages on a view source and you get the HTML code. Usually from non-tech persons, sometimes it's just confusing. What is this for? Yeah, I think most of the people that ever saw programming, that's quite straightforward. So you don't look what you're getting on the top of the website. You go through the HTML that is generated once your website is loaded. And you see in that HTML what the crawler sees. Because, okay, on some search boxes, when you finish, you will be redirected to the page. If you click this button, JavaScript would take you to another page, and so on. But if there is no physical link pointing there, that's the end of the road for the crawler. So you just, to think more like a crawler, just go through line of code and check your links. That's, I think, the most important one. There are many online stores and premium brands and everything that use single page applications. And then they create really good product, really good website where you can buy everything and really good user experience, but the crawler cannot go past the homepage. And then on the rankings, if you check what keywords that page is ranking for and check it, Webmaster Tools, Analytics, you will see only brand keywords. That means only homepage, and that's it. And yeah, potentially that there is a lot of untapped market here, but just adding several links to each category, you already have those categories there. If there is, for example, shoes for sale or sunglasses or everything, and you can click them, but it's in JavaScript, you just need to add additional link to it and be able to change the URL inside. It's much easier to do it in React or Angular and make it all load on one page and not change the URL. But this a little bit of effort can do wonders just by adding them and linking to them. In most cases, they're here. That's actually the thing that we had on Homegate.ch when we used it. All the filters on the left, everything was pure JavaScript and not accessible to the crawler. So what we did, we didn't want to change the way that user interacts with it because they already, it has a fan base of users that already creates it, they are used to it. So what we did, we just added in the HTML next to those elements, additional links to those pages where you go when you click it. So when you choose it, it's done by JavaScript. You are still getting there as JavaScript, but there is a link there where the crawler can click and get to the same page. So that's a big difference. It's a mentality of user versus crawler stuff. And that small link is the one that can give you this big boost. And usually it's not even the double, it's much more than double traffic. We're just presented today with additional satellite portal from another company that they want to buy them. And the first thing that they did, that I saw that they did, they actually did exactly this thing. It's really huge portal. It has almost 1 million customers every month, but they didn't make it crawlable. And when I saw the analytics, it's 5% organic traffic only coming to homepage. That's it. Most of the traffic was direct to the homepage or referral. And yeah, as it was good portal, most of the people are coming directly to it. And it has good user experience, everything. It just needs like these small tweaks to make it crawlable. And I don't need to say, if you have working on some big project, hiring an SEO expert is always good. I was lucky enough to work with Snezhana, that some of you already know from the before, and she helped a lot with some of these projects and always find a good idea. So yeah, always recommended.
Snezhana was also holding a webinar for us last year, so I'll leave in chat link to our YouTube page where you can find all our previous webinars connected to different tech topics, so feel free to use it. So is there more questions for Aleksandar at the moment? One time, two times. I guess that's it. This webinar is being recorded, so as I mentioned, I'll share a link with you after it's being uploaded to YouTube. So if you want to watch it one more time or to share with people you know that could be interested in it. Thank you all for your time and for being with us today. Thank you, Aleksandar, for your time and for sharing some valuable information with all of us interested in this topic. And I wish you all a very pleasant evening and hope to see you soon on some of our upcoming Tech Talks. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.